Hello there, welcome to Freckle Vlogs. I'm Izzy, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my perspective of the current COVID-19 pandemic. So, just a disclaimer, a child's perspective is usually nowhere near as professional as an adult's in most situations, not saying that they always are. But if you're looking for a more professional opinion, I may or may not be a person to turn to. So, please don't get angry at me if I'm not right. So, on to how I see this whole pandemic thing. So, in 2019, the coronavirus, or as it's more officially named, the severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2, was discovered. Now, it was not declared as a whole pandemic thing, like it wasn't a huge deal, so it wasn't a pandemic until March 11th of 2020, so a little ways down the road later. So, there were, and still are, because it's still going on, there's very many safety precautions that are being taken towards this matter because it's kind of a big deal to a lot of people, and some people just, oh well, it's just there. But point is, there's very many safety precautions that are being taken towards this whole pandemic. There's masks. Got to wear masks in a lot of stores. I know in some places in my state you have to, you can't go in anywhere if you're not wearing a mask. Hand sanitizer is something that I guess we've used for a while to kind of fight off germs. That 0.01% though. No, kidding. But so the hand sanitizer is something like if you after you leave a store, after you eat, before you eat, something like that. Put on a little squirt of hand sanitizer, right? My mom usually has us put some on when we leave the store, but if we want some. But either way, and toilet paper. No, I'm kidding. I don't know what's with people and toilet paper, but so I honestly don't get the toilet paper. I just don't. But social distancing and masks seem to be two of the biggest things, right? So, social distancing somewhat makes sense to me in a way as to why we're doing it. The CDC recommends that we stay at least 6 feet apart from other people in public spaces, right? But that's because germs from coughs and sneezes typically travel between 6 to 8 feet. So, that would make sense to say 6 feet apart, right? But the only thing is, every day, on a normal day-to-day basis, we're standing around all of these people who are coughing and sneezing. And so germs are flying around us in general, right? But that's why I'm wondering, why aren't we taking this precaution on a normal day-to-day basis, because we could get sick from other things too. I mean, but now this seems to be a big deal. I'm sure there's more deadly things out there that we don't even know of, but we're not taking these same sort of precautions, And about masks, right? So, when you are wearing a mask, so a face covering, you end up breathing in your own carbon monoxide, right? Your CO2. So, the only thing with that is breathing in too much carbon monoxide can lead to carbon monoxide poisoning. And carbon monoxide poisoning occurs when too much CO2 is built up in the bloodstream. And when this happens, when there's too much CO2 in the air you're breathing in, so if you're wearing a mask, you're breathing out CO2 and you're now breathing it back in, which is why you're not supposed to blow air into a balloon and then suck it back up, I don't know if anybody else's parents ever told them not to do that, but my mom always told me not to do that. So, the thing is with that, when you breathe in too much CO2, it builds up in the bloodstream, and then your body replaces the oxygen in your red blood cells with carbon monoxide, which can cause serious tissue damage, or in worst case scenarios, death, which is not good. I think we all knew that. Not good. So, now, the next thing I'd like to talk about is the whole being out of school and things and precautions and stuff that may be taken towards the 2020-2021 school year. So, the whole being at home thing. at the end of spring break of the 2019 to 2020 school year, where I live, we were all given an extra week off due to the COVID-19 pandemic, since I think by the time spring break rolled around, or no, not even by the time spring break rolled around actually, but so it wasn't even a pandemic until after we were all, like, entire school year was just gone. So basically we were all given an extra week, and then a few days later it turned into another 2 weeks, and then eventually it was just no more school for the rest of the year, which I was like, okay, this might not be that horrible. But then, like, I got really bored, and I'm still really bored. I can't stand sitting at home all day. I don't know if you guys have, like, been getting super bored, because it's like, oh yeah, I'll just, like, watch Netflix all day, maybe do a little bit of cleaning around the house, just chill for this entire thing until it blows over. That got boring really quickly. So, the thing with that, and then when that happened, we were all given, well, I don't know about all of us, but where I live, we were given optional online classes. So I wasn't allowed to not do them. So I had to do these. And so it didn't really work that well for me personally, because my grades suddenly started to drop because I couldn't focus as well in my own home than I can when I'm sitting at school, surrounded by a classroom. And along with that, we were given videos to, like, teach us how to do these, like, math things. I personally am not very good at math, so it was a little hard, because, might I add, having a video there to teach you is nothing like having a physical teacher, human being there to teach you these things that we're trying to learn and to answer specific questions, And so that was a big one for me. I just kind of was like my grades just dropped, but luckily, since it was optional, I didn't have to repeat any grades or do any summer schools or anything like that, because that wouldn't have been good. I was like, no, my summer wasted away. But, it's just, it's crazy, man. It's just crazy. But, now, for certain precautions that may be taken in the 2020 to 2021 school year. So, masks and temperature checks may be required. Now, like I was saying earlier, the problem with wearing masks is everyone in this classroom is going to be wearing a mask. So it's going to create lots of CO2 in the classroom, and like we talked about, carbon monoxide poisoning and how that is really not good. So I understand the fact that I've been hearing around that it'll be maybe a few days online at home, a few days in the classroom, but then, like, more spread out classrooms. But how are you going to more spread out the classrooms if you don't have all the teachers to do that, So the thing with that is that I just feel like some of those things really just might not work. But then temperature checks may be required as well. Now, while temperature checks are not a horrible idea, not gonna lie, that is pretty smart. The only thing with that is it might take away a lot of time from the learning in the morning or the afternoon, whenever they do it, right? But what are they gonna do if a child does have a fever? Send them home for a week for something that might not be a big thing, Like, I feel like that's kind of exclusion, Because, I get that it's for the safety of others and whatnot, but the only thing with that is I'd feel bad, because now they're sitting at home for a week doing their work at home because they had a slight fever, and it might not even be a big thing. It could have just been they were wrapped up too long, or, because whenever I'm, like, cuddled in blankets for too long, I get kind of warm, So it might not even be a big deal, but, in conclusion, all of these safety precautions and whatnot stuff, have their pros, they have their cons. I don't like it. But, either way, we'll just have to let this blow over, and hopefully everything will be okay, There's 104 days of corona caption, and no one knows what's gonna end it. No, I'm kidding. But, basically, that's really it for this video and my perspective of the COVID-19 pandemic. So maybe consider leaving a like if you enjoyed this. And if you are feeling generous and you'd like to see some more vlogs and debate from me, then click the red subscribe button down below and click the little bell if you want to get notified, and you will never miss another one of my videos, my vlogs, my debates, my content. But and if you have any questions, comments, things like that, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below the video. I believe it's down below the subscribe button now. But and I will be happy to answer your questions. And well, this has been Freckle Vlogs. This is Izzy signing off. Peace.